fucking one.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 213 of More Than Dice. I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
I'm Kathy.
Everybody sounds a little quiet. Does everybody sound okay? How are we sounding out there, folks?
Do we sound okay? Testes, testes. Because
Tessie,
I'm a
one,
child.
two,
1,
I
2. Yep,
forgot.
still there.
three.
Look, you know what? I forgot both my tea and my water in the other room. So,
She's got to go.
yeah, I'll be back.
Yeah, Kathy forgot everything. Guys, welcome to another episode of More Than Dice. Before we get started, let's go ahead and give a shout out to all of our people. We want to thank Parallel More Games for giving us a nice affiliate link. If you would like to buy their stuff, you can get 10% off using our special code, More Than Dice. And you can get into the game. If you have any questions about that, you can reach out to Gonzo. He is now a Vanguard for Conquest and can help you get started in any aspect. We want to thank Mini Masterworks. Also, they gave us a discount code too, and you can buy some cool stuff because all of us now have the awesome paint shaker that he has. So
It's there.
It's there. Yeah, we've shown it every week. So
It's really good when your paint gets like the contrast paints at the sun a little bit, just
Yep.
a little bit on there, breaks it up. Make sure you use some sort of agitator if it doesn't already have one.
Yep. Other than that, so we want to thank them. We also want to thank Muse on Minis for hosting our show and getting it out to everybody, which is really awesome because we get a lot of good listens from them. And of course, we have a discount code for them too. If you buy anything from Muse, you can get 10% off using the discount code More Than Dice, all one word. So that's a lot. Wow. Don't forget, you can subscribe to us using your Prime subscription if you have it, and that does not auto-renew every month. So,
Yeah, because they want you to spend real money, not the free Prime subscription if they can.
Yes.
That's them just having to give some money. So use it every month. We'd like it to be on us.
Yes.
But use it on somebody.
Yes, because it's free.
Yeah, give someone your Bezos bucks.
Yeah, your Bezo bug. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, John.
I'm John. Yes.
Yeah. What are you drinking tonight?
A mistake.
Uh-oh.
So
Didn't measure
obviously,
it.
I drink a lot of. I like a drink. No, I did measure it actually.
Oh.
I had to. I drink a lot of mules, so I figured. I had said this to Banyan a week or two ago. I'm like, you know what? I wonder if I can take Fireball whiskey and make a mule out of it. But we're gonna fucking find out.
So it's a fireball mule.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey.
I'm not thinking it's gonna be good, but I've got it. It's a full mule. We're gonna fucking see.
All right. Kathy, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, I have a little bit of gin and tonic, but mostly I'm drinking tea and water. So, tea and water.
That's fair.
And a little gin and tonic.
I have a little gin and tonic.
I am doing some good old-fashioned water tonight. My stomach's been a little last night, so I figured I'm just going to drink a little bit of water tonight.
Call it a day ending in Y, sir.
Yeah.
Lemon ginger tea.
Straight H2O. So, guys,
I'm not gonna
we
give it to lemon ginger tea. Sounds better.
Mm-hmm.
we appreciate everybody that comes on, watches us live, listens to us on all our different platforms. We appreciate it a lot. Please make sure you take care of yourself. Wash your hands. If you don't feel comfortable, wear a mask. All that good stuff. We want to see you around for any conventions that come up that you're going to go to. So just be safe out there. So from all of us at More Than Dice, cheers.
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 We didn't have any shout-outs. I know I kind of skipped that, but I didn't notice any shout-outs. So we kind of...
Oh, fuck me. Not bad.
John fucked around, found out, and it's not
No,
good.
you can't tell. You get a little, but like the ginger and the cinnamon almost mixed together to a sort of spicy taste, which I like. Not like spot spicy, but like spiced taste.
Ginger and cinnamon are two ingredients in gingerbread cookies.
Does not
You're
taste like a gingerbread
you're
cookie,
like-
but
You're halfway to
I'm halfway there?
to a pumpkin mule, pumpkin spice mule.
so Remind me, Mizzy, when it comes around, Captain Morgan does do the pumpkin, the Jackal Blast, the pumpkin rum.
Ah.
I can totally make a mule out of that.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
can't stand pumpkin
Yeah,
flavored
I'm
stuff.
liking this experimentation idea.
Fuck it, mule out of everything. Everyone send me. You know what? Next on my list, I'm gonna try this because I don't like this.
Cinnamon candy apple.
So I thought cinnamon candy apple. I really it's cinnamon candy apple whiskey. The space and where those words are makes a big difference. It's not like terrible. It's not like drinking fucking I don't
Merlot.
know straight gin or anything. But it's not my favorite. No, no Captain Mizzy.
We have already
Nope.
decided none of us care about that.
Yeah, two rich people going at each other is not fucking thing I care about.
So I'm gonna go and get started over and put over on the paint table and get everything going. Oh, you gotta check out this model that I've been working on. I'm gonna be working on this one for a little bit.
Ooh.
Yeah, it looks really sweet. Wait till I get and show you the face. And let me get my camera moved over. Oh. And see if everything's going peachy keen. Glasses on. I can see.
For those that are only listening, there's a really fun model that's sitting on Gonzo's desk. Can you tell us what it is, Gonzo?
This is technically it is a conquest model. It is the Arc. It is a special edition model from Conquest. They only made like 400 of them, and it's used as like it's a leader. It's a character model,
It's
but
like a snake person
yeah, with
where
6 arms.
instead of legs, it has a snake body and then the torso of some weird alien sort of Oni looking thing that has the 6 arms with weapons in them, and then except for the arm that's just the finger that's just pointing, like
Yeah,
the evil eye or something. And then there's this, it's got this long neck that stretches out with a normal looking head on the top of it. Well, normal-ish looking.
yep,
It's really neat.
yep. It's super creepy.
Hmm.
So I was worked on this. I did dry brushing because somebody was asking about how do you do dry brush, and I says, well, here's a model I dry brush, and so I dry brushed the entire model, and I was starting to work on some other aspects of it, getting that wooden armor look going all out for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's gonna be cool.
So I was going to work on that. I was going to get that done. Work on that for the time being. Let me find my snakebite leather. I'm getting rid of my
Just
pants
dump them all out. Dump them all out on the desk. All at once.
all
One
at once.
shot.
Oh my gosh!
Yep.
There you go, Kathy.
Otherwise, you'll be digging in that bag every single time. It'll be crinkle, crinkle,
Well, I was
crinkle,
just going to pull.
crinkle. And I'll think you're reaching for Oreo cookies or something, and it's going to make me hungry.
Well, aren't you always hungry anyway?
Well, yes.
Okay. Pull my brushes out.
Legion, that might be hard to find. I just looked it up. They're local-ish to me, but I'm not sure where they sell in my state. And we can't order stuff for delivery in Maryland because Maryland has stupid laws sometimes.
Stupid alcohol laws that can't be brought into the state, or
Well, you can't mail alcohol to someone in Maryland.
yeah, we get that too. Arkansas is the same way. You can't get stuff. Wine specifically, by the way.
Oh, and now there's none of it.
Yeah, ours
Some
is
places care, some places don't.
the all the wineries around here forced the state to perform that law, so you can't have wine shipped to your door from
Oh,
outside the
fuck
state.
them all.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or in state also, but definitely it was meant for out of state people to send you wine.
that's probably because they can't compete because their wine's probably shit.
Yeah, it's very.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's Arkansas. I would not expect them to have great wine. Let's be honest.
I don't know.
There's a
They have mountainous regions with good drainage. Oh, not mountainous, but hilly regions that have good drainage because of all the limestone, right?
well, there's a couple of decent wines because I took some of the wine tours around here, but overall, it's just kind of okay, it's Arkansas wine
Huh.
type thing.
Yeah, I mean, sort of what you expect.
It's Arkansas.
But if you come to Maryland, you don't really expect good beer.
They have good wine in Illinois, which is weird.
What else they have in Illinois? Well, Chicago.
Yeah, but the wine's not grown in Chicago.
I was going to say Malort. That's what else they have.
Oh, they also have breweries. There's a bunch of breweries here.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure every state's got it. But anyways.
So I'm going to work on this while we talk about our subject. And it got started because I was thinking about what we should talk about and kept on thinking and kept on thinking. And I had a conversation with somebody about upcoming miniature games coming out. And they were like, well, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I was like, well, this is what I think. And I'm like, but I think it's going to have an issue because of this. And, just got through it. And I was like, ooh, this is a good discussion to have with the team. Because
We're now the team, Anthony. We're the team.
That's us.
yes, y'all are the team.
The team.
The team. Sort of like the A
Who are
team.
you gonna call?
The team.
Ghostbusters, but I mean, if
Yeah.
they're not available, you can call the team. I mean, we're mostly not afraid of ghosts for the most part.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, I'd outright disbelieve in them, and I would be shocked and amazed if a ghost showed up in front of me. I would really be just jaw-dropping, stunned, and be like, "Wow, damn."
We're like, how long you been there? Do you see all the things I do? If so, I apologize.
I am unapologetic.
No one needs that in their life. Or undead. Anyways, miniature games.
So there are quite a few new miniature games coming out, and stuff. And I was like, everybody's kind of, which is typical. People are borrowing from different miniature games to try to make their miniature game a little bit better than everybody else.
I mean, that's the
That's
way of the world.
yeah, just the way of the world. No big deal. And
It's
so
technically called innovation.
I was like, you know what? There's a lot of cool and interesting things, but today's age, if you're going to make a miniature game, it's got to stand out. It's got to have, really good IP or,
It's got to have nice miniatures. If you're making a miniatures game, there are so many games that have really nice miniatures. It doesn't matter really how good your mechanics are. If your miniatures look like crap, or if you're paying for second-rate digital sculptor and their detail is for practically
So,
1/1 scale, or their detail is for like one eighth scale, but you're shrinking these miniatures down to 30 millimeters, then you're going to lose all that detail and it's going to look mushy and nasty, and and your
so,
inexperienced digital sculptor isn't going to realize that till it's too late.
so Kings of War. You basically describe Kings of War. But in addition to that, you can't just have the shit hot models. You actually have to have rules that are not too complicated, but not too easy.
yes.
Because if you're too easy, people will be like, fuck this. If too hard, people will be like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to say, sorry, Infinity.
Yeah, because Infinity has amazing models. I love
They
their
do.
models.
And I like some of the rules. It's just so fucking much.
Yeah. It is quite
Like every time we talk about this, every time I see like a cool Space Hulk style board, I'm like, I want to play Infinity on that. Then then I remember the rules of Infinity, like, that's not gonna work.
Most Magic says easy to learn, but has to have depth.
Yes.
Yeah, how do you give it depth, but not make it overly complex?
And You got to have all your bases covered. It's either got to be super solid scenarios out the gates, or even you got to, uh, and you need to have some idea of what you're going to do for competitive play because people are going to play your game competitively.
Whether
They
you
are.
like it
You
or not.
And yeah, I think you just said what I
that,
was just
that's
saying. Never
that's why
mind.
the big dogs I feel of making that and the reason they're come on so strong is like Star Wars Legion, Malifaux, and freaking Marvel Crisis Protocol because
Yeah.
they all play the same, whether you're playing casually or playing in a tournament. They all are played basically the same, and that makes it comfortable. You get more people playing a tournament that way, so you get more people interested.
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to play a tournament. We even said, like, hey, do we care? No, we don't fucking care.
But you know what? The most people that are going to buy your models are the ones that are playing in tournaments. And you have to face that fact. So you have to plan for it. I mean,
You're
that's
going to get
it.
a lot,
The
but you
casual
can't.
gamer is going to buy some of what they like, but somebody who's playing tournaments is usually going to buy a few different armies or factions or teams or whatever,
They're
you
going to
know.
put more out there to a point. Like if your rules are evolving, then you'll have the tournament players buy more stuff. You'll get good out of them. If your rules are relatively stable, you won't get as much out of them as you might out of a casual player because the casual player is more likely to play unpainted, just play something. Oh, that was cool. I wanted something a little different this time, and then do something different. So you got to balance both. That's the thing. And the reason why, and I hate because Consto says these guys think I don't like them. I don't not like the Practor Press guys. It's nothing against you, but you can't make a game that only plays competitively
Correct. I
because
agree
then
with
you
that
will get
too.
people who only play it competitively, and everyone who would like to play it casually, who's not in the mood for that kind of fucking game, will not play.
Hmm.
I mean, you get a little bit of that, and I will say it is one fault with the games that play the same, whether it's competitive or casual. That is one fault is sometimes you don't get that line, you know? You get people who are playing, you're in a casual setting, but they're in that same mindset because they play the game the same way every time. So that's another thing you need to look out for. I like a good, solid, basic rule set. Then maybe if you're going to play a tournament, have a couple extra things for tournament players. Like, okay, here's some slightly extra rules for tournament players. You know, the stop being an asshole and making these janky fucking list rules that are fine if you're playing casually. Like, oh hell, I'm going to play 7 million hobgoblins and 8 bolt throwers and some bullshit. And they're like, oh sure,
Like
it's fine, guys.
the friendly tournament at Adepticon. The
Yes.
That's the 40K tournament that Jeff Wallach and Brian Carlson run.
Yep. Ah, well, it's
And they curate your army. I mean, you have to send them the army list so that they can be like, this is a giant pile of steaming cheese, not friendly.
Yeah.
So,
I also love the theme they have.
yeah, every year they have a different theme.
Next year's is Top Gun for anyone wondering, and I'm probably not going to play. Let's be honest, but I do have Hugin and Mugen, my two flyers for Death
Uh-huh.
Watch, so I have entertained ideas about it. So,
It's a team tournament.
but yeah, so there's a lot of things to balance. But I think more importantly, what Gonzo gets to is not so much what they have, is what we look for in it. I think is how Gonzo.
Yes, yes.
But that's also a good discussion about anything that comes out nowadays because one of the things I wanted to bring up is board game size. The size of your play area
Oh,
because that is becoming a pretty uh, big contention now with a lot of things coming out. So,
well, it's directly related to a just as important or maybe more important question, which is
sorry,
how many fucking models do I need to play this game?
correct.
Which I think is one of the big ones because that is directly related to how much money it's going to cost.
Yeah.
I was looking at GW prices again because I do occasionally because my friends all play it and they're like, John, I'm like, no, I don't really want to. And let's say 5 Dark Reapers cost you fucking $60.
What?
Yeah, I didn't make that up. It's 5 Dark Reapers cost you $60. And I'm
Holy
like,
free
well,
holies.
comparatively to other games, I mean, let's say how much are other games? I mean, well, Crisis Protocol for you get for a similar price, you get, let's say, a pack and a half, almost 2 packs of other models. You know, of their 2 pack normal 2 pack models.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, I mean,
The two
that really.
pack. Wait, like,
Oh, for
A
example,
box
like
and a half.
so, yeah, like a box and a half. So, like, oh, I get, you know, you have enough to get a whole box and then some leftover money. I'm trying to get their website so I can actually do real prices, but it doesn't like me.
most Magic says play area size is a larger deal than most people think. That
Yes.
is real estate that have to have taxes paid on for those extra tables. And that's not only at game stores either, but that's when you want to play at home.
Yep.
You're not going to play if you want to play at home with your friends or, in the garage or whatever. You're not going to always have room for a giant game that's on a 4x6 or 4x8 table.
I think games that are flexible, that where you could play it on either, are very good in their idea because they're like, okay, not everybody has a 4x6 table that they can play on. So I think games that
Oh,
can do that, yeah, that's
yes,
a
absolutely.
bonus.
And to be honest, GW has done a good bit on that because they've gone to the basically you can change the area based off the size of the game you're playing, and it's made to be fit on your standard folding table or dinner table.
Hmm.
Yeah, so for $40 you get 2 models, which is if you're using them both, 1/5 of your Marvel Crisis Protocol army, and then by the same thing, I don't think. I mean, maybe that 1 box of Dark Reapers is 1/5 of your Eldar army. I don't know the points inherently. So while it seems comparable, I mean, it's also $20 more expensive, but so that's a big deal to me. Like, yeah, sure, if I'm getting 5 models and they're expensive models and maybe they're, you know, a tenth of my army, oof, that starts to become into the I have to paint all this shit. I'd like to paint all this shit. I'd like to at least entertain the concept that I could paint all of this shit.
Uh-huh.
So model number of models you're going to play with is a big deal to me, but it also affects play size because Mo says having play size, and I actually more look at home nowadays. I do look at the game store because game stores are going to get whatever play size they can get, and you're going to evolve. So I have a folding 4x6. It was a great purchase. I suggest if anyone wants to know where to get one, hit me up, and I will totally let you know where I got mine and see if we can help you find one. But um, I like the 3x3s better. I like the 3x6 better because 3 feet is an easier table size to
Hmm.
get than 4 feet.
Yeah, your standard card table.
Yep. That's why I like, Malifaux 3x3, Marvel Crisis Protocol 3x3, Legion 3x6, still a little bigger, but 3x3. New mats help absolutely, and I do like what GW did, like I said, with the play size to make it variable and fit better because having to play on a 4x6 all the time became is a problem. I'll be honest.
Oh yeah.
But instead of being able to throw down their little mats, their little boards, and go, "Here's our play service," makes it a lot more playable.
Hmm.
So I think that's a good thing. Are you going to be able to play it? Can you play it at home? Because that affects how much you want to get into a game if you can't play it at home. If Kathy and James can throw down a board and play something, they are much more likely to buy that game.
Yeah, and we don't have room for a 4x6 anything here.
Oh yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of that looking into. Um, but yeah, I mean, we did the how much it costs to get to a game. That's an important consideration too. But there's an asterisk that you don't need to get that all at once. If you're enjoying the modeling aspect, if like they've got like 40K, if they've got awesome models you love and you're willing to get in slowly and you've got a crew that's willing to play lower games with you, that doesn't matter as much because any cost that you can break down over time becomes much more reasonable. So, you know, those are my first two: game size, number of models, play area, kind of things are my first couple.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, model count to me, I think it varies by base what the game is. I mean, you got to look at it. Are you wanting to play like okay, Conquest can be played on a 4x8. It can also be played as a regiment game and also a skirmish game. I think that's really innovative for them to do. Um,
Absolutely.
that gives you variety and whatever you want to do, so it makes it tolerable. Like, oh, I don't need to buy 100 models to play the game. I can play the skirmish version or whatever.
Yeah.
First Blood.
Or I can play the skirmish game for now and then build up to the higher version.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
That is, it's my biggest thing for why I don't like that Kill Team now is so much different than 40K because it's supposed to be, it should be entry level. It should be, hey, here's some extra rules, but here's how you play smaller games.
I didn't
Build
realize
combat
they
patrol.
changed it that much.
They did it when they got dice for movement and shit.
Huh.
Um, but I mean, it used to be combat patrols, I think, but they never really embraced combat patrol or the fantasy version, which name I cannot remember. Um, Warhammer Skirmish, I think they called it actually. They never really embraced that because, I mean, it was less money, to be honest. And while I understand that logically, I think it's a terrible business move, but that's neither here nor there. So that's another thing, like I just said, you need to see if you can come in and play a smaller level to begin with. Because some of those games let you do that. And some of them just have points values. I mean, like 40K, everyone goes, we play 2,000. Well, can you play 500? Can you play 1,000? If the game works at multiple points levels and the people playing it are willing to play at different points values, that makes a heck of a difference.
Yeah.
We get into the.
Legionnaires
Oh, go ahead.
Legionnaires says, and then there is the time investment for bigger games and build time alone.
Mhm.
Yes.
But there are people that like those bigger games, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Like, as long as a bigger game isn't longer, it isn't as long as playing two smaller games, I have no problem. It's like, I'm going to play a 2,000 point game. It's going to take, say, 3 hours. Well, if a 1,000 point game only takes an hour and a half every time, then you've got a problem. But if a 1,000 point game takes 2 hours and then a 2,000 only takes three, you're like, okay, cool. I like that progression rather than straight up. Otherwise, you might as well play smaller games. You get more games in, less chance of you being stuck in a shitty game for long. Because sometimes that shit happens. Let's be honest. No matter how hard we try. Um, and that sort of plays into the next. And as much as I want to say it's not as important to me, it is super important, is the actual fucking rules.
Yeah. If your rules are
'Cause,
crap, it
I
means a
mean,
lot to me because I don't want to. One, I don't want to spend an entire time trying to figure out the rules even after I've been playing it. But also, I don't want 40 billion rule books. Also, if I have to reference a rule book just to see if I can walk here and there or whatever, it kind of puts a bad taste in my mouth.
yep. So you're
Uh,
talking the downfall of Legion with its slightly complicated rules at points. Infinity's big downfall, which is better now because they've gone to the single books or the one fluff book, one rule book, which I like also.
yeah, that's a good.
Um, but you have to reference a lot in Infinity because there's a shit ton of rules. Its quantity of rules matters too. That's sort of Legion's biggest downside is when you look at that rules document, there are 3 fuck tons of rules in there. Now, a lot of it's just explaining what the keywords are, and you learn it over time, but you hand that to somebody, they're gonna be like, "The fuck is this?" For all of us shitting on, well, all of me shitting on 40K a lot, the rules are relatively simple.
You just have to have 40 billion books to do it.
Now, too.
I mean,
Well,
but eventually, if you're playing in tournaments or you're playing a lot of other people who have different armies, you kind of want to know what their armies do too. So,
yeah, yeah, and and buying all the books becomes expensive, That is like the benefit of, say, a game like Infinity, where everything's basically in the one rule book, or a Malifaux, where the app is free and you can look up anything you want because the app
Mm-hmm.
is free, or War Machine, where it's not free, but it's not super expensive. So you could theoretically, get one at a time and it wouldn't be a big deal. It's not like buying a whole new book now, especially because books are getting more expensive.
Yeah.
But again, I
There's a
mean,
few
honestly, go ahead.
there's a few comments here. Ford Fitch says, actually, I think Kill Team is overall a much better game, being its own system. Though I do agree they need a smaller entry level version of 40K.
Which I can agree with.
And Legionnaire says, I've had gaming group quit a game before I could manage to get my army built, much less painted. I've had that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, Legionnaire, I'm going to disagree with you on this one. He says, I don't want to see if you and your opponent disagree, just roll die. No, that
Mm-mm.
is actually the answer while you're in the middle of a game. But after the game, go look it up.
Go and discuss it
Yeah.
at
Like,
length.
hey, yeah. Like, hey, let's see what the actual ruling is. We decided this. But if you're at an impasse, you could read the rule book for fucking half an hour, or you can just roll a die, even I'm right, odd you're right. Fucking let's go. Keep it going.
Finish the game, then go out and have lunch, dinner, whatever, a beer, and discuss your rules.
Yeah, it's not like life or death, not like the fate of the free worlds riding on our game here. It's a game. It's fun. Like, honestly, even if I think I'm right, if my opponent says, I think it works this way, and I think he's wrong, but not 100% sure, and his version's fun, I'd be like, sure, let's use that. I don't care.
And then look
Then
at
we'll look it up afterwards. Yeah. I mean, hell, Bowie actually looks up rules after the game. And he's like, oh, John, I misplayed this rule a little bit. I'm sorry. Like, okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know. Actually, you better out of shape. Fuck what I care. Is what it is, right? But that's
Okay.
important. Having rules that aren't so deep that you don't feel like you can do that. Like Infinity, fuck you can't really do that. Something like Legion or Malifaux, even 40K, that's their rule, and I think that's a great idea. If you have a disagreement, you can't find it real quick in the rule book, just fucking roll a die and go.
But
Rules are important. You need them. I think Mo said it earlier. You want it to be easy to learn the basics of, but have some depth.
yeah. Because one of the things I have and I complained about is Kings of War. Kings of War it's easy to learn the rules and it's easy to master, but they're just so simple and so
There's nothing there.
yeah, there's no depth in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Hmm.
Like, if you just want to take models you already own and play it, sure, works fine. I would
Yeah.
not play it as a game.
It's just
Like, as
very
we play
there.
Kings of War. Yeah, that's there. That's fine.
Yeah.
But we want more from it. And if you're looking
Variety.
for a game and the rules stop you, don't look for the perfect game. Look for a game that's good enough. Because there is no perfect game. Not even necessarily a perfect game for you. There's always things that are wrong. Don't like the funky dice they use. Don't like the way this rule works. Don't like the way that rule works. I mean, it happens. Find one that's good enough, you and your buddies. And the big one is, are your buddies all going to play it with you?
Uh-huh.
You know? Because so we have a group of people, and we generally get together and say, once a year, once every 2 years, we'll say, these are the games we're going to play. And we'll talk about it. And we don't all have to, but like it means that when we're together as a group, these are the games we're playing. And if it's not one of those games, don't expect it to be played. But doesn't mean you have to. My crew's all like a lot of my crew's all in on Necromunda. Cool. I don't really want to play Necromunda. I actually found some models I like. Not sure I really want to play it, but I don't need another game necessarily. Especially not another game that's of the same relative number model count as Marvel Crisis Protocol. I'd rather just keep playing that. I support them playing it, but it's cool. Gotta know. But like, so was it God tier? They gave away God tier starter, or I guess force packs, where the fuck they're called,
Yeah.
at Adepticon. And Marshall got his, and he says, "Take it if you like the models. I'm not fucking playing another game." Like, all right. I mean, I like the models. I'll take it. I'm probably not going to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people are Rivenstone. People are like, "Oh, Rivenstone, Rivenstone." Like, we're not playing another fucking game, so I'm not even going to look at the Kickstarter because we're not going to play it.
Yeah.
And
And that's the
sure,
thing
their
is,
models are nice, but they're not like buy a Kickstarter nice. They'll come out in the store eventually. You know. Good, Gonzo.
They have a Highlander game. Where did I put that?
I was
It
going
was
to say
sitting
that
over here for the longest time, but
Is it the miniatures game or the card game? Because I used to play the
it's a
card game.
miniatures game.
Oh, I
No,
think I'd get upset having to put my model's head back on after games.
Oh, it's out of reach, but I haven't actually taken a close look at it, so.
Now, I was going to say, getting into new games, that comes into cost. Because there's not a problem if I'm going to spend, I'm going to spend $50 to get into the game. Okay, I can justify that. But for me to play the game, it's going to cost me, 100, 200, 300, 500, depending on your
Well,
budget, of course.
let's say any game you're going to get into is going to cost $100. Because let's be honest,
Yeah.
if you really get into a new role playing game, you're going to spend $100 probably. Because you're going to buy the rule book, let's say $60. You're probably going to buy a source book or so, and then you're probably going to buy a new set of dice. Because goddamn it, I'm playing a new game. I need a new set of dice.
Mm-hmm.
There are standards that we maintain. Let's say $100, and $100, like, sure, played it a couple times, we didn't like it, we put it aside for a while. It's not a big deal. But if you're getting a 40K army, let's say you buy your 40K army all at once. If you're spending $2,000, if you're not playing that army, that's a little more of a investment.
Yeah.
That gets into the people with their thought of too big to fail. Like, well, I've got all this money in it, I have to keep playing it. You really don't. But
There is actually, I met someone not too long ago. That's their excuse. They're like, I've already spent too much money. I am not going to play any other game because I bought this game and I'm going to play it. And even though I hate it, I'm still going to play it. And I'm like, if you're not having any fun with it, why are you still?
there's something investors call us about, spending good money after bad. Moonstone is picking up steam in the UK, like whimsical fairy like minis. That's
I
a really
love
cool.
their minis.
Which one?
And I've
they're-
heard good things from my European friends of mine who play that game.
What game?
Moonstone.
Oh, yeah.
Moonstone.
Kathy and I
I think
should.
we've actually covered some models. Yeah, we covered some models here. They're cool. I like that they have a unique style, and
Yes.
that's an important thing too. Not super important, but like, I'm gonna go throw some shade at GW. They've got the new squats coming out, whatever the fuck they're calling them. Like, they had a preview model. It is the most generic of generic sci-fi models ever, and everyone's like, "Oh!" I'm like, "What are you excited about?"
You know why? You know why?
It's a dwarf.
Because it's a dwarf.
Yep.
But why?
Because they're nuts, and it doesn't make sense.
Fair. Well, that's the kind of thing, But so there's so many things to look into a game. Like, it's not like an easy topic by any stretch.
No.
And you also look at how it's coming out. Is it a Kickstarter coming out, or is it in the store you can just buy it? Because that makes a heck of a difference too. Because it's a Kickstarter, it could theoretically fail.
Correct. I've been in a Kickstarter miniature game that did fail.
Yep. I mean,
Hello, Robotech.
hashtag Relic Knights.
Hashtag Robotech.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, it could fail. Like, nowadays, not likely. There's a lot more to it than Kickstarter even has some more rules about it, but it could fail. And also, it's going to be a fucking bit. Like, if everything goes perfectly, it's still going to be a bit before you get those models. So keep that shit in mind.
Oh, I talked to somebody and they say that Rivenstone, once the Kickstarter is done, they should have everything out in 3 months.
You know what that tells me? They don't need the Kickstarter.
I'm kind of
Yeah.
interested in that.
And that's another thing, I'm not necessarily the hugest fan. I mean, I understand now it's going to be the way things are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, also right now, why are you going to borrow money from a bank when that shit's not going to necessarily go so well? And you could just Kickstarter it.
I don't have a problem with someone wants to
evaluate my
kickstart
position
something.
on that.
Yeah, I don't
I
care
have a
if
problem
someone
with some of these
Kickstarters.
established companies. Like if WotC Kickstarter something, I'd be like, "The fuck are you doing? Come on." It's like fucking what's their nuts? God, I hate them so
Come
much.
on.
Uh,
Come on.
yes, thank you. Cool Mini or not. I thought you were trying to encourage me to remember because
Yeah,
the rest
that's
of
what I was
the
saying. That's
game.
good too. Come on. Come on,
Oh, yeah,
John.
there's two.
They've they have put on so many things. They don't fucking need to Kickstarter anymore, but they do. And here's the thing. Here's the dirty secret of Kickstarters, everyone. It's maybe not even a secret so much to you guys. But that hurts your game store because you ain't buying it from them.
Well, especially if they don't do a retailer pledge.
And a lot of them do, but still, like, why am I going to wait for the retailer to get it when I get all these extra cool things by going into the source?
Because not everybody hears about the Kickstarter,
Sure.
so now they can get it at the game store. Or
Yeah.
they don't like Kickstarter, so now they can get it at the game store.
What I like is Kickstarters that are, hey, here's some cool extra stuff, but it's not like so much as you can just get all the things. That was Relic Knight's problem. Is the first one like I didn't. There, it was going to be like a year and a half, 2 years from when the Kickstarter delivered before anything came into the store that I couldn't have just gotten in the Kickstarter and did just get in the Kickstarter. So I mean, that's my local store. I mean, how are they going to get the game going then? So you got to keep that in mind. So it's different for something like Cool Mini or not. I mean, their board games that actually hurts the store even more then because there's only so many copies of a board game for those things that they're going to sell. But I bring it up also because BattleTech, Catalyst Games Lab's doing another Kickstarter for BattleTech. But honestly, they put a bunch of stuff out. They don't put everything out, and they keep putting other things out. So it's like, okay, cool. There's more stuff. It's less than a year since the Kickstarter delivered, more or less, and there's stuff out there I can buy that's not stuff I had. So they're not giving away the store, so to speak, in the Kickstarter. So that's something to keep an eye on with Ribbonstone. Ribbonstone, they sell a ton of stuff Kickstarter. The stores aren't going to have it. Why are the stores going to push it if they ain't got it? So it's the hell of Kickstarters. And I look at that when I'm looking at it, Do I think the game is going to do well or not? I learned the lessons from my backing of Relic Knights twice. To be fair, one delivered.
Mo wants a link to the BattleTech one.
It's on the Discord now. Legion shared it. I saw it like shortly after Legion and my conversation on Thursday when he asked, "Are they going to do a Kickstarter?" I'm like, I haven't heard anything about it. And then, like next day, it's like Kickstarter. I'm like, well, fuck, Legion, I guess you do.
What are they kickstarting this time?
It's the next set for it.
Oh,
It's
just more mechs.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
more mechs. Probably next box set of
Just
stuff.
more Max? Just more Max, Gonzo?
Just more mechs.
No, there's going to be more rules and stuff because they're putting out the box set and they're adding more and more to the game as it goes. I hope they actually get to revise some more rules, some things they could probably fix. Yeah, Cookie, there is something about vehicles. Anthony Scroggins, who is their art director, shared some stuff to his Patreon, and some of it got shared to Facebook because he let them out. That there's going to be vehicles and stuff too, which is cool. I'd like some scale vehicles. I love BattleTech with combined arms is the best.
Some good old tanks and troops.
I mean, honestly, all these mechs, like you take these stock mechs and they have like fucking machine guns. Like, why the fuck they have machine guns? Motherfucker, the first time you get infantry hunkered down in a cover hex, they start shooting your ass, you're like, God, I wish I had machine guns to just murder some of these fuckers. Sure, a medium laser kills like 5 dudes. Okay? Machine gun kills 2d6. That's a hell of a fucking difference. The machine gun don't cost no heat. I like some of those rules where they made certain weapons are just better against infantry, and mechs have them because combined arms is the thing. And all the games keep the video games will have to make machine guns and flamers worth it against mechs when really they're anti-infantry weapons. And you put them on mechs because sometimes infantry show up and you need to shoot the little fuckers.
Weren't you going to show us BattleTech stuff, John?
No, I'm gonna do a separate stream for that again.
Okay.
which if anyone has any idea, probably hopefully sometime this week. I got a whole other box of clan salvage boxes.
What
So
for the people who don't know, what is a salvage box?
it's basically a blind box. So they have two types. They have prepackaged mechs boxes, which have 4 to 6 mechs in them, and you look at like you see the 4 to 6 mechs you're getting right there on it. Oh, cool! I'm getting these. And then the other ones they have salvage boxes where it's like, here's a random fucking mech.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Yeah, I was pleased with my first box. It was fun. I mean, I had a couple duplicates from the Lance boxes I gotten, but that's fine.
Duplicates means you can just try different paint schemes.
Yep, or I can conversions and stuff, make them look different.
Make
But
a bunch
yeah.
of Urbies.
I do need more Urbies. You can never have enough Urbies. But yeah, so that's that's coming up probably this week. Me doing another stream of that. Not sure
Kirby
what
the
day.
Love Mech.
Did I show you that?
I feel like yes, but also I feel like I didn't remember that, and I just thought that seemed like a natural progression, but it doesn't surprise me at all. Now that you say, did I show you that? I absolutely remember that.
Yeah, I have an urban mech that looks like Kirby the Love Bug. It was as close as I could take it because I saw it and I'm like, must do this. I'll explain it to the kids when I play the game. But yeah, so those are the things you look at. I mean, there's so many things, but I would say thinking about it here after talking about a bunch of them, I think the most important is, are my friends going to play it? How fucking expensive is it? Can I play it at home? What are the rules like? Do I like the company? Like, I'll be honest right now, I'm not very pleased with what GW is doing with their prices and shit. They are fucking completely out of hand. So, I shy away from GW stuff a little bit. That being said, every time they put out a fucking Warhammer Underworlds gang that's just fucking awesome, I'm like, I'll take that.
Wormspat.
Telling you, I got the Ogre Hunter one. I got the Goblin Wolf Rider one. There's so many cool ones.
Oh, Goblin Wolf Rider. Ooh, Ogre Hunter. Those both sound like fun.
Yeah, that's why I bought them because they look cool. I did not get the crab. I'm not a big fan of sea elves. Though, I mean, I think it's cool that they, rather than going to the standard cliches they've been doing for years, they did sea elves.
Yeah, yeah.
The crab is awesome. Hopefully, I get a king crab in one of these blind boxes.
Or a king prawn.
That's not a mech, but a king crab is a mech. Anyone else want to throw some more thoughts on games and stuff?
I have no more thoughts on games. None that spring to mind, anyways. Gonzo?
No, that was something we didn't go over. Terrain. It is pretty important nowadays because a lot of games are starting to go MCP. That requires a decent amount of terrain. And like the stats on terrain, is this model a obscuring, blah 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 type thing? I think that's important. Terrain, to me, terrain has to mean something besides it's in the way. If you know what I'm saying. And I really like a system that has terrain where you can move up and down on it. Terrain that has different functioning. Like, okay, this swamp, it's not only does it hinder your movement, your guys could die from it. But I don't want them too complicated. I don't want to have to look up a wall has 7 different keywords, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want Malifaux terrain.
I don't know. I've never played
literally
Malifaux, so I have no clue.
Malifaux terrain is literally you give a terrain keywords, and those keywords define what it does.
Gotcha.
You
I
know,
just
whether
don't
it
want
provides
super
cover or
complicated.
concealment, whether it's whether you can go over it, whether it affects movement, whether you can't. It's really the same as other games. It's just distilled down. You just need to remember them all, and it's another set of rules. So we don't want like 40k terrain where a lot of it was just bullshit, barely does anything. You're like, why the fuck are we bothering? Especially for a company that makes interesting terrain, and a lot of it.
Yeah, that's what I liked about Warcry is you could use the terrain. It had a purpose,
Mhm.
and for instance, depending on on the cards you draw at the beginning, you could have where you have minus movement on the ground. So you actually want to be on the terrain as much as you can, and other things with terrain. And they have mechanics for if you're going to jump down off of the terrain.
That adds a lot to a game, honestly, and I really like the concept of that. I think when we talk about it, it's important, but to be fair, it's not going to affect whether or not I pick up a game from the beginning. At
Hmm.
this point in my gaming life, I have enough terrain. I can make a wide variety of shit. There's enough out there, and in fact, let's put this out there: the gaming companies, all of them, have stepped up their terrain game. Like for a while, GW was putting out terrain. They put out stuff, and they changed the type of terrain they were doing every couple years. But nowadays, it's all concise. They're doing a good fucking job putting out terrain. Like I am happy.
There's
Um,
also a lot of 3D printable terrain out there.
yep.
So
Yes.
if your game you're playing has good mechanics for terrain, then there's lots of terrain that's available.
Hmm. And then a lot of companies just make terrain for. I mean, 3D printing means companies can just make terrain. Infinity, I put lumped them in there because actually their starter boxes came with cardboard terrain,
Yep.
and which was fine. And even better is the way you make it sturdier is by taking the internal boxes that their
Yep.
stuff came in, and putting it underneath for support. And I'm like, awesome, good enough to play games. Good job, guys.
Yeah. Good enough to
Modifia's
start you out.
games, they now have where you can just order STLs of their terrain.
Hmm.
They have some really cool terrain, and they're starting to do that with vehicles and some of their models too, where you can, instead of buying the models and stuff and having it shipped, you just buy the STLs and then, you know, print your game out. I
Absolutely.
think that's really interesting, fun way to do it moving forward.
Yep. And Mo's right. Etsy is a great place to find terrain. I find lots of cool terrain for a lot of things there, and you know, it's a lot better than it was for a long time. There was a point, though, I think, where it was fine. GW was putting out those cardboard plus plastic frames from Necromunda game packs or train packs that were cool, like the Imperial Bastion, the Imperial Firebase, and whatever the third one was called. My memory's only so good. Uh, Plus, not to mention the Necromunda terrain in and of itself. But then it sort of got weird for a while when they put out like the weird foam stuff, like the crashed Chimera that I have two of. Then they did walls that were really cool and all, but not like they're doing now. The plastic terrain, I think, is a great idea from them. You got plastic molding, make plastic terrain, and they do a good job with it. And I even like the concept of every like Age of Sigmar army having a cool terrain piece that does something for them that you get to bring.
Yeah.
It makes it easier in the store a little bit. Like, okay, we can have a little less terrain because people are going to bring their own terrain for this particular game, and then makes it easier on them. It's more sales. It's a fun piece. It's a good change of pace from painting dudes. Also, like, oh, I'm sick of painting trogs and uh, bloom spike kits. I'm gonna paint their big, cool, terrain piece. It's just I love where they've gone with that. So while I think it's important, I don't think it factors as much into my decision as pretty much anything else. But that's just me. Is that the base for that model, Gonzo?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense because the body goes right there,
Yeah.
and the hole is where the rocky thing is.
Yep.
You shouldn't paint that if you're going to glue them there.
No, I'm getting it like right along the edges of this, so whenever it sits down, it will look and be there. It won't be that.
Fair enough. So yeah, so that's
That
all
part
important
be
stuff.
in shadow.
Don't know. I can't remember, but I was like, I'm just going to get a little bit right there, so I know where it's going to be. I'm getting just this base on the on all the
It's all
walls.
about the base.
Out the bay.
No trouble.
No trouble.
I'm gonna have to do a basing stream soon. I have I might do that this week. I have the Uhu glue. I have my Geller Pox. I might just revisit them because I never finished their bases, even though they are almost completely painted.
There you
And
go.
I wanted to do gooey, gross, slimy things on the base
Yeah,
for all
remember
of
the
them.
Uhu glue is different than the Uwu glue.
Oh my god.
You're welcome.
Oh yeah. Mo loves painting terrain the most.
That's fun.
Yeah.
It's a great change of pace for stuff, I'll be honest.
It is. And it's the same for painting bases if you do decorative bases. I know not everybody does, but I like to do that
You know,
and it's great if you don't feel like going into detail on models one night when you're painting, you can just you can just base coat
yeah,
some bases. You could just dry brush some bases and still feel like you've accomplished something. And it's a good warm up for if you want to continue on with your painting that day, warm up with that and then continue on to your other uh more delicate things.
yeah. I mean, honestly, as long as they're appropriate and not just bullshit tactical rocks, I actually kind of like the marble bases.
Hmm.
Painting Mr. Sinister's cool cloning chamber thing was cool. I liked it. That was fun. You know, was it Mystique's? A little bit of rubble and then the sign from the school from Gifted Youngsters. It's cool. It's
Oh, it
cool
was
little
the
touches.
sign. I was wondering what that was and I
The
couldn't
gold
make
was,
it
yeah, it's a
out.
sign. Yeah.
The model looks cool though.
Thank you.
That turned out nice.
Thank you. I resisted the urge to put a wash on the skin. I'm like, I think it looks good. Everyone says it looks good. I think it looks good. Let's not wash it.
Hmm.
But yeah, so there you go. Well,
That's
I
it.
like that they come with it most magic, but I sometimes they come with too much. See Deadpool, or it's just stupid. See Quicksilver or Domino. I think it's about time for the media section.
I think it is.
Okay. Give me 1 second and clean up.
Clean up. Clean up.
Gonna get the paint off my brush.
And as you go.
Do you have brush soap?
Oh, I'll do the big cleanup later, but I'm just gonna get like
Hmm.
the wet paint that's on my brush and
Uh,
close up my wet palette. I have to redo my wet palette. It got dried out because I was sitting underneath a big old fan.
I like that Gowns is using an actual towel to wipe his brushes off on. I uh, I stopped using paper towels for that a long time ago because honestly, you can find super duper cheap towels and you can theoretically wash them, or you've used them for like a fucking 2 years. You're like, I
Oh
guess this
yeah.
dollar was well spent.
Yeah. This is one of my towels. It's
Yeah,
there's not really a part on it that's actual fabric anymore, I don't think. It's all paint. It's not absorbent anymore. I probably need to just throw that one away and start another one. But
mine's pretty decent.
Ooh,
I've been using this for yeah, a couple years.
Yeah, they last a while. Honestly, they're a good investment. Like I got to $1 store and they're like, we got dollar towels. I'm like, I will take some of these and use them for whatever. It's freeing not to worry about it. And no, Mo's Magic. I don't like the foosh. I think that was actually asterisk. I think if they'd let you use the foosh or not use it and have it work perfectly, either way, I think that would have been a great model. But making you
Sure.
use the foosh, they can go
If
fuck themselves.
if the foosh was optional.
Yes, optional fuse. Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Meow meow meow.
I will join. I want to thank someone for not making me suffer through these all day. They are less comfortable than these.
They're so
They're so
cute
cute,
though.
though.
I know, but they're also uncomfortable because they're not quite big enough for my ears.
Yeah.
They don't go
Well,
over, they just rest. I mean, it's solid noise canceling and all. Like, I don't hear a lot outside, but it's not like they're fine for like a half an hour or so.
Hmm.
Hour and a half, they get a little rough. All right, so I have a couple things to talk about, though I think we can skip any TV series because I'm not caught up in any of them. Sorry, Banny and I have not had time to watch together, almost like he had a fucking heart attack or something.
And I've just been playing Valheim in my evenings instead of watching TV, except for today, where I did watch a couple of that French murder mystery series that I've already talked about a couple times, and it's still really cool. And every single episode is like an hour and 45 minutes long and like its own little movie.
I spent 5 hours plus watching media this week, and most of those in the last 2 days. What do you want to start with, Don? So you probably have 17 things.
I don't have a ton this time. I was busy doing a lot of other things.
Only
Do
7.
you want to start at the start?
Well, actually, I want to start with something that
Gonzo
we're not going to talk
ears.
about.
Ears. Yeah.
Oh, did we get it? Sorry. Didn't see it. Something that we're not going to talk about together, because there's going to be a couple of things that we're going to talk about. I watched season 2 of Green Eggs and Ham. And, of course, nowhere near the book, because we're out on a whole different tangent. But holy crap, these guys know how to write good rhymes and no good comedy. This show, while it's geared towards kids, it's supposed to, but there are definitely adult moments in it. And the whole story of this season is Sam I Am trying to find his mom, because he doesn't know where she's at, and it devolves into this giant James Bond spy movie with Dr. Seuss characters and Dr. Seuss rhyming and all the Dr. Seuss fun. But holy crap, is this series good? I doubt we'll get another season out of it, but
Is
it
it on
was
HBO?
Netflix.
Netflix.
Is it animated?
Yes, it is animated.
Yeah, you're fucked then.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. But I mean, it was overall, season 1 was near, an amazing season. Season 2 was a little bit less than season 1, but was very, very solid. I enjoyed the shit out of it. The writing and the rhyming in this is beyond belief amazing.
Wow.
I cannot wait to have someone else to talk about with this, because it was top notch. It is, and it's not crude humor. It's very, family. I put family friendly about it. But it is quite solid and quite the good series to watch. If you like a good show that's kind of funny, got good silly Dr. Seuss stuff, highly recommend Green Eggs and Ham season 1 and season 2. Overall, I give it like half a space herpy, but it is beyond belief amazing.
I've just added that to my watch list.
Oh, you'll love it. You'll cackle your ears off. It's kind of thing. Since John's not back, Kathy, go ahead and give us something that you watched that we haven't.
You weren't really paying attention to the whole beginning of this, were you?
I heard that you were doing your detective thing.
I I said I did watch a couple episodes of Murder In, which is my French detective series, but I've already talked about that a couple times uh, on this show, and it's a French detective series. It takes place, every single one is like a standalone, although occasionally they have a return of one or another detective or a pair of detectives, but usually it's just new, different detectives. And it's funny because it's like British, British shows. When you watch a ton of them, you see the same people playing characters, the same actors. And it's the same with this French show. You see these same actors that were playing a different character before, and but they're so good. They're so deep in their character development with these. It's like a whole movie. you look at any of the cop shows that are here in the US that are they're either just only action or it's a soap opera. Whereas these shows have a beginning, a middle, and end in one episode. And characters at the beginning start out one way, and over the course of this whole hour and 45 minutes, they grow and change based on things that are happening around them, and they develop, and it's really interesting. It's really well done, and the actors are usually really good. And where they film these things, the locations are amazing. The scenes are, it's sweeping vistas, or tiny little villages in the middle of the south of France. Legionnaire says, "Why did you have to mention American cop shows, Kathy?" And I'm happy to say I've never watched that ever.
You're not missing a lot. It's
I
overrated.
know, and that's why I never watched it. I had no desire to watch a docudrama style series.
Well, no, Bad Boys is Will Smith and what's his name?
Oh, I
Martin
thought you was
Lawrence.
talking about
Cops.
cops
Been...
with the Bad Boys theme.
Oh, yeah, that was interesting when it came out. Not so much anymore.
So that's my media. It still has zero space herpes because every episode that I've seen, and I'm on season 8 now. I think we're almost the whole way through season 8, and I think they just added season 9 to my streaming service.
Oh, awesome.
So, yeah.
So last week, because I hadn't watched the media on Sunday, and at that point we were still good to go, I watched the first episode of the MacGyver reboot, figuring, because I forgot that I was halfway through The Witcher. It just didn't occur to me till after. Like, oh, I could have watched an episode of The Witcher, dumbass. I was just flipping through real quick, saw that, and like, sure, I'll watch this real quick. I won't watch episode 2.
I've heard that.
Not going to say this was a bad episode, but it wasn't. Had none of the charm of MacGyver.
No.
I like parts of it, don't like parts of it. It's fucking a bit formulaic and a bit stupid at points. And yeah, it was a reboot. Originally, I thought when they did like, oh, it's his son, that would be cool. Nope, no continuity.
Yeah.
It's just a reboot.
That is too bad.
Yeah, it's average American TV. So
Yeah, I think it got canceled.
Yeah, I mean after like 5 or 6 seasons.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give it 3 space herpes because it just wasn't innovative, and standard American TV is not worth 2.5. I feel like you'd be better off watching any of the other more well-established series. Watch yourself some Version of Interest. Watch yourself some CSI of your various denomination of choice. Watch yourself some NCIS of your various denomination of choice. All are better than this.
Mm-hmm.
The actors weren't bad, but need more than that. So there you go.
Let's talk about something we both watched.
Well, that's got to be Batman because we both didn't watch the other thing I'm going to talk about.
Oh.
Yeah, oh, maybe we did.
Okay, let's talk about Batman. I watched Batman. It's on HBO Max right now, which I was really surprised it was out so early. I thought it was going to be a little bit longer, but I'm okay with that. Wasn't a big deal. I watched it and thought about it. Let y'all know, hey, I watched this. Mulled on it for a day or two, and I watched it again.
Okay.
Just so I could, I let myself into it, going, cool. Okay, now I'll let it stew in my head and everything, and then I watched it again.
That was going to be one of my statements. Is going to be, I think this is going to be a movie that you're not going to get your real opinion until the second one because they do some things with it.
Huh.
My overall opinion, I really liked it. I really liked it a lot.
Mm.
John shaking his head no for the people that aren't seeing this.
I would not say I liked it a lot. I would also not say it was bad. I have some very specific gripes, and the biggest one, and I am absolutely sorry to everyone on Twitter or wherever who thinks that Robert, what's his last name,
Patterson.
Pattinson, he has the charisma of a wet paper fucking bag. At no point is he scary as Batman. At no point.
In my thing, he was more emo, and that's the best way to put it, in my opinion.
He was absolutely, and when he's being Bruce Wayne, walking around being broken Bruce Wayne that they did in this, well, he was fine for that. He fit. But, part of the way through the movie, I messaged Del Marshall, who we had talked a little bit about, he didn't want to spoil anything, and said, so far, the people I like the most are Catwoman and the Penguin.
Okay, I will say, Colin Farrell as the Penguin was legit.
Yeah, fucking right.
I couldn't even believe it was him. Even the makeup and everything. The makeup was done so well that it didn't look like makeup and prosthetics.
Yep, it was great. Like,
Yeah.
that was great. Aside from Robert Pattinson, and even Robert Pattinson as Batman, the cast wasn't bad, but some of them also weren't good.
Now, there were some...
Boy, shouldn't I really care about Andy Serkis as fucking Alfred? Not just, it could have been fucking anyone. You wasted that man's time.
Yeah, Alfred wasn't, in my opinion, the Alfred character was just kind of there.
He was less amusing, important, or relevant than Jeremy Irons in any of the movies Jeremy Irons was in. Jeremy Irons is 10 times the Alfred he was.
Yeah. His Alfred just didn't feel like an Alfred to me. I will give you that. What I did
I
like
that they changed the mythos a little bit. That was cool.
The one thing I liked about this more than anything is this was a Batman, and I hate to say this, more grounded in reality, and more the detective.
Okay.
For the simple
That's
fact,
what I wanted from it, but it wasn't.
this was more of, because this is not a year one Batman. This is like I think it's a year two. Yeah. So he was still learning how to be Batman, and he didn't have like all the cool gadgets. Some of them broke reality, but not all of them. And like some things you're used to, like, the throwing of the Batarang and it hits like 17 things and comes back to him. There wasn't that.
Why can't they just do a Batman movie where he's already established as Batman?
This one was, except for it's 2 years in.
It was an origin movie.
Yeah.
But it was early Batman, not late Batman.
Yeah. This is in the year 2 of him being Batman, so he's established.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
I'm torn because he's just not a good Batman. He was never scary. Jeffrey, what's his name, as Jim Gordon was fine, but the problem with that is you have to tell us that Jim Gordon's a good cop. You can't show it. There's no way to show people taking bribes and him not or whatever. In Batman Begins, you showed that Jim Gordon was a good cop because he's the one who took the time to sit with Bruce Wayne after his parents were murdered. You show some of it. There was a lot of telling, not showing. It just wasn't good. The Batmobile was awesome. Fucking A, the Batmobile was
That was a
awesome.
Batmobile, like I said, grounded in reality.
No.
Compared
it
to
wasn't.
all the other Batmobiles.
No, really wasn't.
It was a rocket car.
Hence the not grounded in reality portion.
It looked like it was. It did look like a superhero vehicle. I liked it, and I liked it a lot. I thought it was a very unique take. I thought it was a lot of fun. Now, my big complaint was I didn't feel for Selena Kyle that much. It felt a little heavy-handed, but the middle of the movie kind of slowed down, and it was kind of just like a drag. And I was like, because this was like almost over 2.5 hours. I think
It was almost 3.
Yeah, it was.
Almost
It was
3.
close to 3. I just couldn't remember because of the credits. But
It was, this movie has, the problem is DC's trying to get away from their standard problems, but it has standard DC problems. It's at points unnecessarily dark. The ending is terrible. When it goes to straight up terrorism at the fucking end of it, like you cross past anything I wanted to see in a Batman movie into straight up terrorism that's inconsistent with even the Riddler's character as he's shown so far.
The
Now, that's
take
not to
on
say he wasn't always there, but it was like, no, fucking, what are you doing now?
yeah, the take on Riddler. Well, I like the guy that played the Riddler. He played a very creepy, Riddler
Yeah,
like they wanted to do, but
no
it was
problem with
not
that.
your standard Riddler.
Literally up until the point just after Arkham, I was okay, and then the movie just it gained an entire space rupee after that. One entire space rupee.
I really, like I said, I really liked it. I had a great time with it. Even watched it the second time, I was like, okay, this dead time or this middle area that I didn't like the first time, I didn't like it the second time because I just
It's
didn't feel it.
overlong in a way that Star Trek: The Motion Picture was overlong.
Yeah, if they would have cut out some of the middle stuff and cut it down to about 2 hours and not three or 2 hours and 20 minutes or something, it would have been a whole lot better. There was a lot of filler in this.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenes that were overlong, beautiful scenes. Like they made a pretty movie, with the fact it was mostly dark. They made it pretty, but this didn't make a good movie in my opinion.
I had a blast with it. I liked it. I hope they
Uh,
do another one.
I really don't.
I really hope they do another one because I want to see where they're going to go with it because I liked this dark gothic one. But like I said, there definitely needs to be some chop of the story and cut down because there was too much filler
Yeah,
type thing.
I don't think the actor's worthy of doing Batman again. He's not impressive as Batman. Like Batman hasn't been less scary since Val Kilmer smiled in the Batman costume.
I did notice while I was watching it the second time and watching it the Batman and then Bruce Wayne that they definitely I don't know if they either put him on bigger shoes or on stilts or platform boots when he was in Batman, but they definitely made him a whole lot taller when he was in a Batman suit.
I think they actually did what Christopher Reeve did when he was Clark Kent versus Superman. I think he slouched. I think he just did the whole slouch and those little way, the knees a little bent, shoulders down. I think that was a lot of it.
It could have been, but there was definitely
body language fine, but it just wasn't menacing. Like, why were the bad guys scared of him? Because you told us they were scared of him, not for anything you saw. Michael Keaton came on. He was menacing as Batman. It worked.
I would like to see another episode and see if they can correct some of this stuff because I liked the way they went. I liked the characters, minus certain things, but I would like to see this go again and see where they go with it.
There's only one recurring character I care to see again, and that's the Penguin.
He was really good.
Like you probably won't see Catwoman again, which is fine.
No, I don't think you'll. I think
none of the rest do I care about seeing again, and that's the problem with the movie.
I could deal. I wouldn't have a problem if Alfred didn't really show up because he really didn't do anything for me.
Didn't do anything, no.
Yeah. And Andy Serkis is a great guy anyway, so there's nothing against him.
No. They wasted.
It was just the script.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just out of it. I do want to see Robert Pattinson play him again, and I'd like to see if he goes darker or meaner or scarier, as you would say.
I don't think he could get scary. I don't think he's possible.
I don't know. He did get ripped though. He did put on some weight and get a little ripped.
I mean, if that's all you're looking for, it could be anybody.
I don't feel like I don't want to shit on him and say he did a bad job. I just don't think he was a good fit for the role.
Yeah. I'd like to see another one.
So,
John, what do you give it?
3.
3? See, I give it 1 to 1.5, and I guess if you cut out that middle stuff,
was gonna give it a 2, but the ending was pretty reprehensible outside of it, and just not good.
I give it 1.5, and if they could cut out that little bit in the middle without doing some spoilers and everything, I think for me it would be a 1 because I liked and dug it. I liked the dark atmosphere. I liked the gothic, but I agree with you. There was a couple of lines where I was like, really? Did they just say that?
I mean, at this point, I don't think it's a top 5 Batman movie for me. It's the bottom 5.
Wow.
Well, I mean, we all know the best Batman movie is Mask of the Phantasm because animated Batman is the best Batman.
I thought it was Ninja
Follow,
Batman.
no, no, bottom five, but more enjoyable to watch than this, except for that little middle part with the Joker and Harley. That was still fucked up. Anyway,
What was the one thing that you watched that I didn't watch?
well, I'm assuming you didn't watch the Tex Talks BattleTech on the Warhammer that he put out on Saturday.
Man, it kind of slipped my mind, and I forgot to hit record on the DVR.
It's on YouTube, fucker.
Damn, I forgot to hit the remind button on YouTube.
So Tex is a big deal in the BattleTech community. If you don't know, I've talked to him before. Tex from the Black Pants Legion. He started off doing just shorter videos. So they got bigger, and now they're just fucking huge productions. Like he and his crew of a handful of people make just really in-depth lore videos for BattleTech, and they're fucking great. They might start off on a tangent, but the tangent relates to it, and it's just him telling more stories from the BattleTech universe, and it's great. Tex is a great voice for it. He and his team do a great job of researching stuff, and they do it for free. They don't take money. There's a Patreon. They do all the Patreon. It doesn't go to them necessarily. The donation, everything, all the money they get goes towards a donation. Right now, it's St. Jude's Hospital. They're really great, and the videos are super in depth, and will get you a lot of information on whatever subject it is. And then he does some silly stuff at the end. So it list is about 2 hours long, but really it's about it's an hour and 45 with another 15 minutes of silly stuff at the end and credits. And then probably the first 30 minutes is a tangent, but related overall to the main topic. So I suggest if you like BattleTech or you're interested in BattleTech, check out his stuff. Especially because I've mentioned this in our BattleTech episode, he does a great thing on the fall of the Star League and the American Civil War, which is important notes as to the beginning of sort of the BattleTech world. But I love these deep dives. He does about one a year or so. It takes so long to him fucking do them. I respect the craft man puts into his fun with his hobby. So it's a zero space herping. It was a much better use of my time than watching the Batman. Well, it's not true. Actually, if I'd stopped after 2 hours of the Batman, I would have been like, oh, this was okay. But I had to watch that last hour. Gonzo, what else you got?
I have everything, but I was going to wait till you watch the Halo before we talk about that one, the newest Halo episode. So I'll hold off on that one.
2 behind on that. I'll try to catch up. I'm 1 behind on Moon Knight, which I can describe as I'm interested to keep watching it, but I'm not sure it's good.
I'm kind of with you on that. So I've been playing the Lego Star Wars Saga of the Skywalker, which is all 9 episodes of Star Wars, playing in Lego style. And holy fuck is this fun. The comedy for Legos is top notch. Whoever they have that does the writing team to do all the quirky shit that doesn't there's idle animations whenever you leave a character there, and I was standing in front of Senator Palpatine, and he's standing there, and all of a sudden a lightsaber drops from his cloak, and he kicks it away really quietly, nobody sees this lightsaber, going out. So I was there's fun little things like that. If you stand with Anakin and let him stand idle, he pulls out a lightsaber and it turns red, and he starts shaking it and beating it so it turns a different color. It's just stuff like that makes this, this game really good. The comedy, the stupid stuff. But it got me thinking. I'm playing, I just got finished with Phantom Menace and working through the next episode. And I just couldn't get through the Gungans. I'm quickly get through the Gungans because I can't stand how they talk. It just annoys the shit out of me. The Wisa Nisa, and I'm just boom, boom. I actually turned around and shot and killed Jar Jar a couple of times with my Jedi because I was just oh. And, it's not that the Gungans are a problem, it's the way they talk that just got on my nerves.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
type thing.
agree that in rewatches of stuff and even in the Clone Wars, that was what bothered me more than anything.
Yeah, it's how they talk. If they would have just talked normal or with an accent of something else, but the comedy in this is unbelievably good, and it's the right place. Like I'm playing Qui-Gon Jinn going after Darth Maul, and he stands idle for a second. He goes, "I have a set of skills that no one else has, or I have a certain set of skills," quoting from his other movie, and I'm like, "Holy crap, that's good." And I'm
Liam
like,
Neeson's
"Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Liam Neeson's from the Tooken.
yeah," and I was like, most kids would not get that, and I heard that, and I went, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
Oh
he said
gosh,
that line."
that's
I mean,
awesome.
But that's such perfect adult humor. Kids will be like, "That was
correct.
weird," but if they research, like, "Oh, it's from a movie that the actor played." Okay, cool, whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, me, I catch it and I'm just like, I had to pause it and I'm like laughing so hard. And it's stuff like that that makes this game great.
Mhm.
I mean, the combat is simple. You can use the force to break things. You can, do stuff, and it's just, it's great. I mean, I'm on episode 2, and there's a part where Padme sees, Anakin as he's grown up, and she's got all these hearts flowing around her head, and he's got hearts all flowing around as they look at each other, and they're like, "Yeah, but Jedi's are not supposed to do that," And it's just the play on all of that comedy is top notch. This game's going to win a ton of awards just because it's an amazing Star Wars Lego game. But to have 9 episodes, you have 300 playable characters in the game. That's how many playable characters you have in this game. I was like, holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so much of in this game that it's amazing. Ships, once you beat an area, you can play it as a free, so you can kind of get the hidden stuff and become there, and you can level up your characters and level up stuff. But I mean, it is top notch. I'm gonna play through all the stories and go through the higher thing, and then go back and do the free play to find all the hidden stuff and do that thing for fun. But it is quite the game. I will zero space harpies. And I'm like I said, I'm only 1 episode in, and I haven't even caught all the, not even anywhere near all the comedy, and it is laugh out loud type shit. Good job. So, other than that, I don't have much that it says. Like I'm gonna hold off on it. The Halo one, so you can catch up, and I'll hold off on Moon Knight, so you can catch up on that too, because those were things. I did watch the newest Picard.
I'm
Ooh.
still episode 2. It'll be a bit before I can catch up on all of that.
Yeah, Picard has. I watched Star Trek Picard because I like good sci-fi. I don't watch Star Trek Picard to watch time travel back into our time and see our modern day problems. That's the
Oh,
best way to put it.
no.
Well, like they've always done it on a shorter term than many episodes of a series.
Yeah.
So
So I'm kind of bummed because season 1 was so good, and season 2 I'll get through it because I'm hoping it has a good thing, and we only have one more
Time
season to
travel
go.
is so often just a cop out.
Yeah.
Like we don't have any good ideas left. Let's just do time travel. We'll throw that in there.
Yeah, it could have gone so much better. I was just like, oh, time travel
Now
and
I'm waiting for the Time Wars thing from what was the prequel one? Enterprise?
yeah,
They had the Time Wars and didn't like that either.
I like the concept of that, of them being just not directly involved but having to help out. That's cool. Like an episode here or there is fine, but many episodes at this point, even 5 episodes in a season seems like a lot.
Mr. Cable, I've watched Umbrella Academy. I like it. I'm
I have
waiting for the
also
new
watched
season.
the Umbrella Academy
Yeah,
Okay.
waiting for the
and
new
really,
season.
really liked it. Yeah.
So careful with Netflix, because I think a lot of people are ejecting because they're shooting themselves in the face.
Oh yeah.
I am keeping Netflix at least until I get the next season of Stranger Things. Then, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm keeping it until Banyan gets rid of it because he fucking pays for it.
Yeah.
But because the price increase doesn't affect me at all.
Oh, there's price increase.
Yeah,
Yes.
price
Okay.
increase. They've also going to cancel most of their animated stuff. Thinking that
Yeah, they
somehow
canceled
that's
the
the problem.
Bone series.
Well, you know what? They
Oh.
almost need a price increase only so that they can compete with every other freaking. They have nothing on there almost.
Well,
I
that's the
looked
thing.
through
It's because
it and I'm
everyone's
like,
taking their
there's,
stuff back.
yeah, yeah, there's no, there used to be so many movies and stuff. And it's that way with Amazon too. They have to, make all their own interesting original stuff. They have to make it interesting to get people to stay because they have nothing for TV shows and movies anymore, it seems like. They
I
get
mean,
like the same tired 20 movies and then they rotate those out and then they add some more.
well, I mean, yeah. When the streaming wars happened, they were always going to be on the outside looking in if they didn't partner. Like if a
But
company was smart, they would partner with them, going like, "You've got the even with losing subscribers for the first time in a while, maybe ever, you have the biggest
or
reach. Let's make a deal."
or you get some kind of Amazon discount if you want to subscribe to a streaming service through Amazon to that like BritBox or you know that's just one that I would
Oh,
personally subscribe to. But oh my God, I'm
but
not going to pay that much per month for just
Yeah.
why
that.
why would Amazon do that though? Because at this point, they just like the other streaming services to fail, and then they're like, maybe we can get their stuff on Amazon Prime Video.
We'll
At
get
that
it
point,
back again because all the stuff that's on BritBox now, I used to be able to watch on Amazon Prime.
well, the good thing about Prime is I always look at it as the video content is a bonus. I'm getting it mostly for the shipping and shit, and the videos are all bonus.
That's true. That's why I
And
got it too.
let's be honest, I mean, they do a couple like Jack Ryan and Reacher
But
and Expanse and all. It's fucking fine.
at the same time, oh, I did finish Reacher, and that was amazing.
Yeah, I like the heck out of that. That was good.
Uh, at the same time, there used to be so much more on Amazon
Oh,
Prime, and that's why,
it's the
that's why I'm
competition.
sad. I feel like it's weak now.
Yeah, but that's the competition. As things come in. Like as you get Paramount Plus, they lose anything Paramount related because they want it on their service so that they have content. Disney's gonna take everything Marvel, and then Peacock is gonna take anything NBC.
Yep.
Just the way it is, unfortunately. So
Well, guys,
I'm John.
that is our stream for the night. We appreciate everybody coming out and listening and watching. If you like what you saw, make sure you hit that like and follow button. That way you can find us every Sunday for the podcast. And then John will be doing his...
I got Mediocre Mech Warrior tomorrow night, and then probably Wednesday night I'm going to shoot for. I'll post Monday or Tuesday about it. I'm going to do an unboxing of another Clan Invasion salvage box display.
And also, don't forget to follow Kathy. If one of my mods can give a good shout out to Kathy's channel, where she does streaming on Tuesday through Friday on different various things, and her Friday read along that everybody does. And she can do that, and she does amazing painting.
Thank you, Missy.
Yep. Follow her channel. That way you can see a real painter, not me, and get all that stuff done. Guys, we appreciate everybody that comes out. Please make sure you take care of yourself. Drink enough water. Eat the right food. Go get your shot if you haven't. Just make sure that you're taking care of yourself, and we can see you at another convention. We're going to send you out to Vleeger Dragon for the night. So for More Than Dice, I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
I'm Kathy.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Good night, Kathy.
Hit that raid button.
Hey.
Hit it.
Raid. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Done.
Ta-da.